in Spain. I live in Spain. I live in London, but right now I'm in Madrid because of some work that I have to do here as content creator, and then I will be going to Italy. We'll be going to Italy next week, and literally like the weather. I know that also in the UK, like right now, the weather is terrible. It's not terrible. It's terribly hot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm surviving in Spain right now. It's literally like you cannot go out on the street unless it's like it's 2 a.m. in the morning because you're gonna die. Literally, it's too hot. But yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I know that we've been trying to schedule this for like a long time because I was super busy between like acting work and our content creation work. Is like it's been crazy. And fortunately, like this week is a little bit less work because we are
Okay.
traveling next week. So the week
Yeah.
after our travel, we try to like stay in the house as much as possible instead of like going out
Mm.
and do content, etc. So yes, I'm so happy to be here. Ask away anything you
Yeah.
want to know.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here, Ricky. And yeah, you've already mentioned part of what you are doing, and it's really, how should I say, an interesting story because for you, you're a duo, right? The company that you're owning and that you do services with, this already exists for quite a while, but you personally, it all started to change when COVID hit, right?
Yeah. Yes. So my entire life. So I am first of all Arif, the other person in the name Arif Enrique, is my partner, my boyfriend and my partner also like in our business. So we built our business together, and it all started literally. Okay, we built a business during COVID, like during the
Mhm.
first wave. I remember that we in May 2020 we were like in stuck in the house as everyone in the world. Basically, we were building
Yeah.
like our website, trying to figure out what we were going to do. But before that, we are both actors, performers. We both trained in it, myself in Italy, Arif in Spain, and then both in the UK as actors and performers. And so we've been creating things, okay, so shows our and doing marketing stuff like selling the shows, and then shows sold out and going to talk to
Oh,
people and pitch the shows to like different companies for like forever. I started acting when I was professionally when I was 15, so it's been like over 15 years basically that I'm in the business, and even more for Arif. So when the pandemic started, we were like, okay, what should we do? We before that, like a few months before that, we had the chance to compete on a TV show in the UK. It was a cooking TV show, and we literally wanted to use it to get as much exposure as possible because we were working in the theater in the West End, but we were a little bit tired of waiting for auditions, of people calling us for work
mm,
because you weren't your owner of your life because you were waiting for people to call you for something. So we're like, why don't we create something that we can actually enjoy doing and it can help people? Because um, the the fact that we didn't feel that represented as a minority because we were not from the country we were living in, even though like it's literally like the place we love, the UK, but at the same time we were a gay couple, and we wanted to show the world that you can be a gay couple and life can be as anyone else's life, right? You can be happy, you can have you can travel, you can do everything. So and because of what happened in the TV show, that the casting director and the producers told us, guys, you need to do something together, you need to create something. We decided to open an Instagram account specifically to help the community, to show that it's possible to have a nice life with your partner, right? And from that we started like exploding. We were doing things that we didn't know about, like we were started growing on Instagram by posting and do things and making mistakes at the same time, and then recovering from the mistakes and keep growing. So we're like, why don't we use Instagram? There at that point when the pandemic started, we had, I think we hit around 20k in February 2020, 20k followers. And then from that moment, we decided, okay, that's the platform that we feel very comfortable in, and we are having an audience there is literally asking us to do things. And then from there, we started building our business. It was a roller coaster, as I think, like for anyone in the business industry. But it was quite normal and smooth because we found like our niche, what everyone calls niche, by doing things and by collecting what the audience were telling us that they wanted to see from us. And then from there, we decided to build a business, and we started studying business marketing and all that stuff. And at the same time, we're like, okay, what we have been doing like all our life, like selling shows and having the show sold out and then putting a show up, and then the master degree that I have in production and directing and written writing, is literally what you need to know to do marketing, because you need to be confident on camera, you need to speak to people, you need to be engaging. We're like, okay, so we basically have already the knowledge without knowing it. And so we packed all that and we created the Creators Breakthrough Academy. And it wants to be literally the place where a creator can create his own future, whether you are an actor, you're a performer, or you are a business owner, you're a coach. Because for us, and that's the way we work, everything is about you and your brand, because logos have been out for like probably 100 years, but people always bought from people. So that's why we work on personal branding, because for the way have been leading and we have been producing things, it's so much easier to create awareness around yourself as a human being with your thoughts and with the things that you believe in, than a brand itself that is also great. But if at the beginning don't have the push that maybe Coca-Cola had or Starbucks, it's so much easier to start as a person. And that's how we started.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a great point that you make. And some of our previous guests also mentioned that building a personal brand is very, very important, because that is you, right? It's about you. And if you build your own brand around yourself, you can shift in any direction that you want at any certain time. You can still
Absolutely.
build your company, several businesses, and these businesses have their own brand, but your brand is also important. Now, you mentioned also that you've been learning all of this while being an actor and setting up shows. So, would you agree that you were actually already being an entrepreneur even before you thought about building a business like this?
Yeah, I absolutely. I always when people were saying I'm an entrepreneur, I didn't really get what they meant to say till I discovered that I actually was, as you said before, I was actually building my business, because it's all about creating engaging things that have an outcome. Whether you're selling a product or you are being yourself and trying to attract the brands that you want, or try to attract the casting directors, or even when you are talking to your parents and you are 15 and you are asking, trying to convince them to let you go out and stay out with your friends, that is what a personal brand, an entrepreneur does. Basically, try to do marketing in every moment of his life. There is many people, some people, especially in the acting business, in the industry, they might see marketing as a bad thing, because most of us, and I put myself as well, we do what we do as actors because we want to create emotions in other people. Okay. And
Mhm.
sometimes for them to talk about marketing is like taking away the fact that you are moving something from you and you are creating emotions in other people. But it's not about
Mhm.
that. It's literally about the outcome that you want to get. And as I said, marketing and being an entrepreneur, I think every single person is an entrepreneur. When you're trying to get something from someone, you are literally applying, without knowing it, the rules of marketing, because you are trying to make that the proposal that you have, whether it's to your dad, get me an ice cream, or literally like selling your show or do a pitch for a book, is exactly the same thing. You're trying to convince and tell a story through a story the person that you have in front, right? So yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Every time that we talk to other people and we talk about our life, sharing our story, and just talking about what we're doing, it's marketing. And I would add to that, it's also sales. You're doing the marketing for what you're doing, but you're also doing sales because you want to actually convince people to either work with you or to go out with you or to go to the restaurant if you talk to your partner. So yeah, all these skills that you're learning this way, you can definitely apply that to entrepreneurship. Now, with you too, like when you decided to build that business and to start it out, what did you feel like? Because you already know marketing, did you feel that you had an advantage to other people that are starting out? You're helping entrepreneurs now as well, so I'm guessing there's a lot of people out there that really are not that skilled in that marketing sense. So, how big of an advantage is it for you guys to already have that experience compared to somebody else?
Okay, so that's a very great question, and I have to say that I mean, imposter syndrome, it's something that everyone suffers from, even us. Okay, even if you are an actor, and people out there that maybe you haven't done acting ever, you could literally, even like Marilyn Streep, like suffers of imposter syndrome. So it doesn't matter how many Oscars you have or how good you are, you will always suffer of that, especially in my industry, because we learn when you do acting drama at school, etc. You learn that it's very difficult, that the job is very difficult, and there will be always someone that is better than you. And you will see that, and you will see many doors closing in front of your face when you start acting, and when you really are like 18 and say, oh my god, I'm gonna go to London and I'm gonna break through, whatever. Okay, so it was difficult for us to come to the point that we are now and saying, oh my god, we know what's going on, and we know why that person is not succeeding, and we know that is missing charisma, or is missing like the way that
Mm.
that person hooks people in a video. It's completely incorrect. But it was a long process until now it happens, and I'm very happy to share that and to say that sometimes we really feel like, oh, we should learn more, because you never stop learning, first of all. And it's the same thing that if you want to get good with your body, or you want to know something more, you keep studying. It's the same thing in marketing. We don't feel that we are there yet. We have a knowledge now, and we know that we know a lot because we have been doing a lot. And especially when you um, go out, not of your comfort zone, but literally you go out in the world and talk, like in this session you talk to other people, and you see what are the other realities, you start understanding that yes, you maybe have to learn a lot about how to do your tax return, because you've never done it before, and that's all math. But there are some many other things that you have been learning during your own life because of your life, you know. So it was a big advantage being actors first, and no being actors full stop, but being actors, sadly, in countries like Italy and Spain, where you don't have, sorry, that was a window, where this work, our work as actors, is not seen as important
Mm.
as it could be like in the US or in the UK, where you have literally like an industry that pays you for that job. In Italy and Spain, most of the time you need to do everything yourself. I had to do shows where I was the person who was taking care of the lights, of the sound. At the same
Oh
time, I
wow.
was the director. At the same time, I was the actor, and that it happens many times while I was growing up. Since I started doing, I did my first show, paid show in with a company in Italy, and I was doing sound at the same time I was acting, and I was just 17. So we have learned a lot, and it was because of our background and because what we were in. Okay, so that's absolutely, it's a big advantage, and it's the fact that now we know that no matter what is going to happen, we can go make the show go on. Okay, as you say, the show must go on. We can do
Yeah.
that. So for anyone that is there, if you haven't done acting at all, I would really would suggest to do like a few acting lessons for everyone. I think that helps you so much, especially to become more confident with yourself and with your body, and the way you talk to people and the way you engage people. And it can be a big advantage if you really are struggling, as many people do, with content creation. That for us is the opposite. Like sometimes we have too many ideas that we're like, what should we do? What, we don't know which one we have to pick up, you know. So yeah, absolutely, that was a big advantage. And talking about content creation, that helps us so much, because again, all our life within like improvisation and all that stuff, sometimes you are on stage and something happens and you need to like engage the audience for 10 minutes, going literally like improvising with no script or anything, so that helped us so much. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking like you're talking a lot about content creation, and there's there's like an idea that being an entrepreneur is all about, okay, building a business like a service business or a coaching business or e-commerce, but nobody really talks about a business as a content creator, as an actor, like you say, or as a performer. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that people that are actors, that are actively being paid for what they do, for their service, which is acting, why are they not being seen as entrepreneurs?
That's a, I've never thought about it, but I think that we have all the wrong mindset. I mean, it's something that is in us as people, that we think that to be an entrepreneur, you need to be your own boss, in the case that you don't depend of anyone else. You are not in the
Yeah.
scale. You're not like an employee of someone. Okay. So I see myself and other actors that I know as literally entrepreneurs, because all the people that I know that have been working with me, or they are my students, or they are my friends, and we started together, they are all building their own business in their own way, whether they are on TikTok or they are on Instagram. So they have their own business. But I think that we have this wrong mindset, and it's something that probably, I mean, I'm talking about my experience in Italy, something that schools should start changing, teaching people that they usually teach people that you need to get good grades at school, to finish school, go to university, and then you get a job for someone else and you start getting paid by someone. Okay, they don't give you the idea that you can be the owner of your own life. And that's as well for actors. When I was doing my master degree, my academy, I studied acting in Italy, first in New York, then in Italy, and then in the UK. In each one of the schools that I attended to, they were always telling us that we had to work for someone, and it was like great if we could have like a long running contract for a long show. So the idea was, okay, I need to get to Mamma Mia that is running for 25 years, so I will have that show forever till I get like old, and that's probably like the wrong mindset that even teachers should start changing from the roots, from when we are very young, and give people the idea that you don't have to follow the system as it is, because it can work for someone, but for other people, and I know many people that are unhappy with their lives, and as soon as they don't see themselves in a big show, I'm talking, yes, of course, about actors because that's my field, but and other people that are in my life, when they don't get to the point they want to get at a certain age, they think that their life is done, so they're gonna get another job completely that is completely opposite of what they want to do, and they are unhappy. I always
Mhm.
prefer to be happy, because my childhood, as maybe yours or many others people, it wasn't that it was nice. My parents are amazing, etc. But as an LGBTQ member, a gay guy, I
Mhm.
suffered a lot and I couldn't be myself at all. So then I arrived to the point that I said, okay, I want to be myself no matter what. Okay, no matter if at the beginning of my business I need to survive, because at the beginning you don't know how it's going to be. If you can gonna make lots of money in one day, the other day you make nothing. So it's all like that at the beginning, right? Um, so I was like, I prefer to at least do this and create content and be happy every single day of my life when I wake up, then do another job that I did for many years. I worked in hospitality to pay my rent and pay for auditions, etc., and have like a some ball here, and I couldn't swallow because I was like so stressed, and I had my boss saying, "Oh, you need to finish the spreadsheet or whatever." So I couldn't be that person at all. So I think that we should all work together, and what you do with the podcast and many other people out there, it's amazing, because we really need to empower other people. Of course, every one of us wants to make money because we need to survive. You need to pay your half for your house. I need to pay for my food, for the gym, for everything we do. So of course, it needs to have an outcome that goes into money because we all need to survive. Unfortunately, the system is created with like that. You need to have the money to buy things. That's it, right? But at the same time, I think that this creates awareness and brings up, like, raise awareness around the topic that you can start being an entrepreneur. And I'm actually very happy that with the pandemic, many people understood that. And I've seen many content creators exploding and creating their own business. They are just like 20 years old or 19 and they are already like a billionaire. So it's actually a thing. We are now in the transition period where everything like is getting crazy. So there are people saying, oh, why you didn't get like a real job instead of like creating videos? And the other people say, no, I just want to create videos so I want to get a job. So it's a transition period, but I'm so glad that it's happening because my cousin that is 20 can see that there are people out there like him that are doing great on social media, and they are creating content and are making money out of it, and they're doing what they love.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a great thing, huh? Especially in these days, that everybody that wants to be an entrepreneur, no matter what age, and no matter what you do, if you put your mind to it, you can do it for sure. And I think that's a great example right there. That 20 years old can become a billionaire if they can become their own boss with creating content, right? Another
Absolutely.
thing that I was thinking is, so we have the content creators, and we have like service businesses, we have coaches and so on. What I hear a lot of times, especially when I coach business owners as well within technology, um, that creating that content, right? And you said it yourself as well, is a lot of work. And some people, some business owners really feel like they don't want to be content creators. They just want to be business. They just want to do their business, what they love to do within their business. That could be, maybe it's development, maybe it's, I don't know what it is, but anything except content creation, right? Because it takes
Yeah.
a lot of energy if you're not used to it. So what would you say to them? Like, how would you approach that?
Absolutely, and that's so funny because I have some of my students that are like that. So I I always push them. So the fact that I think what I've seen from my experience of coaching people is not the fact that they don't want to create content, is the fact that they think that the content needs to be about themselves. So there's this idea that when you're on social media, you need to show everything, seeing everything that you do in your life. When you wake up, when you do breakfast, etc., etc. Okay, of course, there's a component that is that if you are an influencer or if you want to base everything about your life, if you're a lifestyle influencer, a model, or whatever. But many many of my students, when they started, they were like, I don't know if I want to use Instagram. Another is great because it gives me lots of exposure, but I don't see myself dancing on a reel. And it was like, you don't have to dance on a reel if you don't want to. So the first thing that the entrepreneurs out there that you don't want to create content you need to start thinking is that you can create any type of content. Okay, so don't start and get stuck on the idea that it needs to be about yourself. Of course, if you talk about personal branding and you want to raise awareness about who you are, it's easier if every now and then you put something that is about yourself, but it doesn't need to be your life. I always do, and that's why I'm an actor, and I'm also like an acting coach. What I tell my students is like, when you are on stage, right, and you are on a show, you get a script and you have to create that character. Okay, so the person that you are on social media, it needs to be, it can be a character that you decide to create and to portray. It needs to be your artistic persona that you want to put out there. Okay, and you are your own owner, and that's the beautiful thing. You decide what people are going to see of yourself. Of course, you don't have to fake it. You have to use who you really are. Okay, I cannot say that I'm on the side of the country, or I'm liberal and I'm not, or the opposite, I'm Republican and I'm not, whatever, and literally fake something. No, at all. You need to take who you are, but you can create a public persona, and that you can really balance what is you and what you want people to see about yourself and your business, and what you don't want people to see. Okay, then regarding the creation of the content. I know that there are some people that really don't like the editing part, or like the what talking about photos, like is that how to create and have a good photo shooting. In that case, I mean, if you're a business owner and you have a team, you can ask your team to help you out. That's, everyone can do it, absolutely. And in our case, we always teach our students to do everything themselves, because it helped us a lot. And sometimes it saves you so much money, especially at the beginning, instead of paying someone for do your logos. Or of course, I mean, I respect the work of everyone, so it's, we love to have like a photo shoot done by a photographer, but when we started we couldn't afford it at all, so we had to do it ourselves. Okay, so I always suggest my students to learn everything, so at least they know what's going on, and then if they have the means to pay someone to help them out. But really the main point, understanding that it doesn't need to be about showing your life and what you had for breakfast or for lunch. It's literally more about what are the values of your brand and of your service, and what you want people to see and what they need from you. Because always when you create content, you have to think that you are not the hero of the story, but is your follower or the person that is going to buy your selfies who's the hero, who wants to know and needs something from you. Because on social media, in general in life, sadly it's like that, but unless it's your family or your friends, people don't follow you because they like you. They follow you because they can get something from you. And that's, it's a truth. I mean, there's nothing that we can say. We are here as well because we know that we can like alimент each other's following by me being here and by you being there. Absolutely, of course. I mean, we are nice people and we love to talk to each other, but also there's another component behind. And I think that as soon as you understand that as an entrepreneur, you get, okay, I can also create content, I can also do that, because it doesn't need to be about myself, it doesn't need to be about me having a shower.
Yeah. For many that will be like almost a relief that, oh my god, I don't need to show what I'm eating every day. And
Yeah.
yeah, and also it becomes more strategic. If you think about it, it becomes strategic about what you should post is about how you can convey your message, but also how you can show people what you got. Would you say that too many people are too fixated on the vanity metrics, like likes or, I don't know, shares or whatever, or is that still very important?
Oh yes, so can you hear me? Okay, you were frozen
Yeah.
for a second. Okay. So everyone, I think vanity metrics are there for a reason. And uh, of course you don't have to be looking at vanity metrics at all. You should consider them just a tool for you to understand what's going on and how you can improve yourself. Is the only way that we treat vanity metrics, because we suffer a lot of anxiety as human beings, as actors, and as for what we had in our life and our background, myself and Arif. So we always try to run away from what can bring you that feeling of sadness and depression, etc. And
Mm.
vanity metrics are really that. If you see then the post worked well one day and then the day after it literally goes very bad, you are like, okay, what I'm doing wrong. But uh, if you start thinking the numbers are actually something that help you to understand how the world is evolving, what's happening, and what are the trends, I think that that will help you so much to better understand yourself and to better understand your business and to better understand how you convey your message. Because eventually, if you know that a post or something didn't get that engagement for some reason or whatever, and you analyze what's happening, that will help you to understand, okay, maybe this didn't happen because I didn't have a strong hook at the beginning, and you will see what's happening. But it doesn't need to be your main focus at all, because you can also have like 100K followers like we have, but no one is going to buy your service at all. Okay, or you can have
Yeah.
100 followers and all 100 are your paying clients. So it doesn't really matter as long as you convey the message. Of course, if you are an influencer, as we also are, you need to take care a little bit about your engagement, because it's what the other people and the brands are looking after to
Mm.
pay for something, for some content. But rather than that, if you are a business owner or if you're just starting out, it's literally the metrics that Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, or LinkedIn, like all the platformers are showing you, you should just see them like literally as some tools that you can get to better understand yourself, better understand your audience, and improve the content that you're going to create. Um, at the end of the day, literally, like as I said, you can have 100 followers and you have like a six figures income a month, or you can have 1,000, 3,000, 20K, 50K, 100K, and you literally make like $200. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. And that's why when we work on Instagram, we always work on make sure that what you attract is actually your target audience and ideal clients specifically, because those platforms are amazing, but are also used by literally anyone in the world. So if you don't use them
Mhm.
correctly, the people that you will attract will not be the correct one, and that will be a mess, because you can have, again, a lot of followers but no one is going to engage. So as long as you have like a good strategy and you can convey your message as much as possible, and literally know you want to help, it's not even that, but what the people that you really want to have an impact on get from
Mhm.
you. As soon as you know that, you will know how to speak to them and what to do to attract them, because you will know everything about them. I don't know if I
Yeah.
was clear. I hope I was.
Yeah, it's perfectly clear. I mean, it's coming back to the basics that the metrics itself from a platform are more like a guide than
Absolutely.
so much like saying, oh, you're doing it all wrong or whatever, right? It will guide you towards the best pieces of content or the pieces of content that actually connect with your audience. And if it's not going well, but I also understand the nuance between if you are an influencer or if you are a business owner that wants to sell your services. That's a different way of looking at than these metrics as well. So yeah, we should be very careful to compare ourselves with others, especially
Absolutely.
if it's a different business model. Basically, an influencer is a
Absolutely.
different business model. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Two things. You can always start over. No one will care. And if something bad happened and you lose followers or you lose people, or your post doesn't perform well, you can always do another one. It's like
Yeah.
when so it's like, okay, let's do it again. What is going to happen? And that's why coming back to content creation, you should have a strategy of content creation, because you don't even want to spend like your entire week to create content and then doesn't
Mhm.
perform well, and then you get on the idea, okay, oh my god, it sucks, I don't know what to do, and I spent like a week doing nothing else. And that's why, yes, we are very focused on what we want to do, but because we are many things, and many of our students are, because some of them are actors, some of them are dancers, some others are mothers with kids. You cannot literally put your life on the side just to do your business, and
Yeah.
that's something that it's difficult for entrepreneurs, because when you don't have a 9 to 5 job but you work for yourself, it's like work, 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 work 7 days a week, all the time, as much as you can. And sometimes you miss the focus because you're working too much. you
Mhm.
you you, rem- you forget that there are things that you have to do. You need to have lunch, you need to drink water. Many times I forgot to drink water, like because I was working too much. So it's like it's literally taking everything with like a light soul, like having uh, knowing that you can always start over, and it's gonna be, no one said that it's going to be easy. No one really, literally. That's why I always run away from people say, okay, get 10,000 K in one day. It's like, yeah, it might happen, but it's not what I'm about, because I know that it's difficult anyway. Maybe you can get to that point super quick, but then you need to maintain it, so it's even like more work. So literally, for everyone that is there and is listening or will listen to this later, literally take everything in the easiest way possible. If it's something that you love, do it because you love it. And remember that the most important thing is literally talking to people, be around people. And that's why they're called social media, because you need to be social. You cannot pretend to get big on Instagram or TikTok if you are not doing anything and you're not social with other
Mhm.
people and using the platform. So just take it easy and
Absolutely.
you will be great.
Awesome. Good stuff, Ricky. Ricky, it's almost the end of our episode here. So where can they find you? What do you have in store for our listeners, our viewers?
Absolutely. So we are, of course, an LGBTQIA plus couple. So our content on Instagram is at Arif underscore and underscore Ricky. As long as you write like Arif, we should appear anyway on Instagram. And we do like funny content about like being your own person and sexuality, etc. So everything like very LGBTQ friendly. We work also as ambassadors for It Gets Better, which is a big like charity all over the world. And also we have our own academy, the Creators Breakthrough Academy. And for anyone that is struggling on social media, if you want to reach out to us, feel free to send us anything. We have a surprise for you. We have a calendar, a free calendar. We were talking about content creation. So if you are struggling about creating content, you can get that calendar. It's a 4 weeks Instagram calendar. Literally, we have done already the work for you. So you just need to take the idea and create the content about it. But everything is lined up for 4 weeks, and then you can talk to me and say, "Okay, Ricky, I know how to create content now." So all entrepreneurs that you're struggling, get the calendar, and yes, and so we have many projects for the future. At the same time, we're also auditioning because we are still actors, so we have agents like in Italy, in America, in the UK. So sometimes like we work for companies, or we do audition for Netflix, etc. And that's why we have also a 5 days bootcamp that helps actually content creators in general, specifically actors and performers. And we will do a big challenge starting on the 22nd of August. And that, if you're interested, you can just send us a message on Instagram, or go to our Facebook page. Sorry, on our website page. It's all linked on our Instagram account. So as long as you get to that one, you can get everything. And
Awesome.
yeah, so make sure that you create content that you are happy and you are living like the life that you want to be. That's the most important part.
Awesome. Thank you, Ricky. One last question,
Yes.
Ricky. What does success mean to you?
For me, I arrived to this idea later on in life, because for me, success since I was very young was to win an Oscar, and I still think that I'm going to win an Oscar when I'm gonna be older. But for me, success is really uh, going to bed every single day and be happy with what you have been doing, and be wanted to wake up the day after to continue your journey, whichever it is, if you're traveling or if you're working for someone or if you are building something. But literally have this passion and this we call it like fire inside that you have, that wants to, you look yourself into the mirror and say, okay, I cannot wait for tomorrow because it's going to be another day and I'm going to create something new. So if you can make sure that your life is every day like that, and even if in some days it doesn't matter, that is what I think is success for me. So everything that makes you happy, and when you look yourself into the mirror, you say, okay, yes, I did what I wanted to do. I think you're a successful person. Okay, you cannot measure success in other ways than that for myself.
That's an awesome answer, Ricky. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time and for being here, Ricky. I really
Oh, thank
appreciate it. Thank you for everybody that is listening and that is watching. Stay tuned for the next episodes. Coming weeks, there are more and more guests coming. So follow us on Technology to know everything about this, and we will see each other soon. Bye bye, everybody.
you. Bye.